Alright, hi guys, I'm Leanna of Mission Misfit Designs and welcome to this week's video. For this week's video, we are going to be attempting to do something a little bit crazy. I saw this picture on Pinterest that I'm going to put right here where someone made wallets out of sneakers. And I don't hate my wallet, but I definitely don't love it. It doesn't have a spot for cash, like to go with like a billfold in it. And I don't carry a ton of cash, but when I do, it's super annoying. I have to pull all of it out in order to count anything. So I have to like roll it up and put it in there. So I don't necessarily love that. And that's not necessarily the safest option. So instead of buying a new wallet, I thought I would try to make this thing I saw on Pinterest. So to do so, I bought this pair of Vans at Goodwill. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to toss them in the washing machine just to get them like clean before I go cutting them up and messing with them a whole bunch. They were $8.50 and they do have some wear on them. They're not super bad. Obviously, I didn't want to buy like a brand new pair of shoes because that's wasteful. But at the same time, I didn't want to buy like a super destroyed pair of shoes because a lot of the ones that I found that were really destroyed, one, smelt really bad, two, some of them like had holes and stuff in them. And while that is totally fine, I've never done this before and I wanted to make it as easy as possible for myself. I also just didn't want to use like something that's already starting to, like the fabric starting to fall apart. So these are what we went with. And I also was having a very hard time finding high top sneakers because I wanted high tops. I really wanted Converse, but I went to like multiple different thrift stores. I just couldn't find any high top Converse. I found some low tops. But I wanted a pair of high tops because I think it's gonna look cooler with like, and I have a little bit more to work with here. And yeah, I really didn't want low tops. I wanted a high top shoe. So this is what we're gonna use. I'm also have some black, I have a bunch of black cotton, oh my goodness, cotton poly blends and some denim. And we're gonna use a little bit of combination of all of that along with the tops of these lovely shoes. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get these in the washer. All right, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and cut the shoe off of the sole. I'm going to unlace them, cut them off, and then put them in the washer because I don't need the soles, so they really don't need washed. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I probably won't throw it away. I don't know what's going to happen to it. Maybe I'll make it into like a pin cushion. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut the top off the sole, and then we'll put the top in the washer, and I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, I just took some snips and some scissors and I legitimately just cut the top of the shoe off from the sole. It was not nearly as hard as I thought it was gonna be. Clearly, it was hard for me to stay in camera, but cutting the shoe off, I don't know, I thought it was gonna be way more difficult, but it wasn't. After I got that cut off, of course, I threw it in the washer. When they came out, I threw them in the dryer. And then I started working on cutting my fabric. I did this along like 3 different days. The fabric I used for the most of the wallet, which is what you see here, is just a stretch cotton denim. I used a stretch because that's what I had. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I wouldn't recommend using denim because denim frays and the pattern wants you to use something that doesn't fray, but I didn't want to buy anything, so I used denim. As you can see on the back of the denim though, it looks like super like pale. I just used an interfacing on the back to help make it like more sturdy. You can see me laying out the top of the shoe, trying to figure out how I want it to lay and everything. I eventually decided on what you will see as the final result of just the sides of this shoe facing each other and touching in the middle. I pinned all of that down and then I will let you guys watch me work on basting that on my sewing machine to secure it all down before I started working on the rest of the wallet. Now, my sewing machine was not loving sewing through all of this. It was really struggling, especially in the middle where the 2 pieces meet. I don't know what about it. For some reason, my machine was just struggling. But I got through it. I had to change my needle because I know I broke one. I only broke one though, which is impressive. I had to rethread it at least 10 times because the thread kept breaking. I know I probably should have used a stronger thread because it kept breaking, but I didn't have a stronger thread in black. and I'm impatient. But as you can see, I am getting all the way around the shoe, and then I go around the edge of the fabric, doing a zigzag stitch along the edge of the denim to help keep it from fraying so that it looks cleaner in the final product. And as you'll see, I definitely am very happy I did that. I wish I did it on some other places as well, but I did do that zigzag stitch around the edge to help keep it from fraying and keep it, you know, nice and clean. You'll see a little bit of me here cutting out all of my pattern pieces out of my fabric. For the rest of the fabric, I just used a black cotton polyester blend, just like a quilting cotton. And then I did interface all of that with just a woven interfacing that I had, and that helped to keep it a lot sturdier, just because, you know, obviously I wanted it to be not so floppy and everything. Now I did kind of mess up here. The pattern, there is a lining piece for this part of the wallet. I didn't realize that's what that lining piece was for. I thought it was for the other side. So I cut out and I like basted my own lining piece, which, you know, not how it's supposed to happen. It worked, it turned out fine, but I did kind of go off my pattern a little bit there. And then you'll see me here cutting out all my other pattern pieces, or some of them cutting out my card holders, just all the other pieces. And again, that's just that black cotton with an interfacing on the back to help give it a little bit more stability, because the pattern said that you could do that or use a waterproof canvas, and I didn't have any waterproof canvas on me, so we just used some cotton and some interfacing. And then you can see here me just working on the card pockets. The card pockets were definitely easier than I thought they were going to be. I just had to hem the top of them, and then they got sewn onto this back piece, which you'll see me like tracing the lines out here. This is on another day, as I'm sure you can tell by it being completely dark outside and me having a different sweatshirt on. Yeah, I had to leave for work that day, so then I got home a couple days later. I was able to finish working on it. And yeah, I'm just sewing all of the card pockets onto the back here. And yeah, again, doing this part was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. I did also mess up cutting out one of my card pocket pieces. As you'll see on the middle piece, the one is white. I cut it out the wrong direction, and I tried to do it the other way and it didn't look right. I tried to cut a new one out, and I don't know, I kind of like the white one, so you can actually see the interfacing on that middle piece, but I kind of think it's fun. The wallet already is not perfect, and I feel like that gives it just a tiny bit more character that, you know, I feel like it didn't necessarily need, but I don't know, I like it. I did have to redo the center card pocket when I'm in the part that I'm doing right now. I did it wrong the first time, so I had to seam rip it and completely redo it. I just didn't leave enough hanging over the edge to fold over to finish both edges of that card piece. So you'll see me like, I get everything nice and lined up and I get all the marks drawn out, and then I realized that that is wrong and that I have to go back and seam rip it. So I did go back, I seam ripped it, I redid that piece. I almost didn't, but I really wanted this wallet to be something that I can use and be proud of, so I did go back and redo it. Now, as you can see here, I am cutting out the plastic for the ID window. I did do this way later than the pattern called for. But I just wasn't sure what I was going to use for that window. I ended up using a plastic bag that like a bed sheet comes in. I just saw one lying in my sewing room. I'm like, that's perfect. So I cut a square out of that and I used that for my ID window. And then of course I just followed the tutorial to sew that on. It was way easier than I thought. I don't know why I thought this was going to be so much harder than it was. And then I'm just sewing that pocket on here. The absolute hardest part of sewing everything together was just whenever I had to sew through that outer piece with the shoes, was just because my sewing machine did not like it. Now, what I'm doing here is the binding on top of the billfold, and I'll talk about it a little bit more later. I really wish I had finished that edge. I didn't, and the pattern didn't say to, because again, you're supposed to use something that doesn't fray. My fabric is denim, it frays. I wish I had finished it. I ended up trimming it up a little bit later, just because it looks really rough laying here. Like you can see it on the desk, it looks a little rough. But that is like the main thing I wish I would have changed, is just using either a non-fraying fabric or really finishing all my edges, which, you know, you live and you learn. And this is a wallet made out of a shoe. So I feel like it's pretty impressive either way. But yeah, here I am just fighting my sewing machine to get this wallet through. I was literally like manhandling the wallet through the machine. I did not break any needles on this. I broke one needle sewing the shoe on, and I'm so shocked by that. But yeah, I definitely struggled through this a little bit and was fighting the machine, but I got it through in the end, and yeah. Alright guys, so as you just saw, I just finished making my wallet, and I wanted to go ahead and show it off to you guys. I know you guys watched the whole process of making it and everything, but I am so proud of this thing. I can't believe I actually made it, and I can't believe it actually turned out, and it's like, you know, a wallet. So here is my gorgeous little shoe wallet, and yeah, so on the outside, I just have those that pair of Vans that I cut up, and then you open it. Got all the little card pockets. It's got these, like, I don't know what they're called, but these pockets. It's got an ID pocket, and like there's plastic in there. And then it's got a billfold. I do have a 20 in there, but because I wanted to see how they fit. And I did put my cards in here to see how they fit, but obviously I took them out because I don't need y'all stealing my information, obviously. But yeah, and it only folds this way, and right now, because I just finished it like maybe an hour ago, and I've just had it in my pocket, so it just kind of, yeah, it's not like wanting to stay folded. I'm going to put it under some heavy books, because that's what the pattern said to do, is put it under books for like a day or two, to help flatten it. But yeah, I absolutely love this wallet. I do really like the pattern, so I obviously will definitely have that linked below for you guys. But if you're wanting to make a wallet, I definitely would check that pattern out. The only thing that I would do differently is listen to the pattern. It said to use a fabric that doesn't fray, so to use some kind of like vinyl or faux leather for that out. So for like this portion, and then like here, this piece. And I was like, oh, I can just use denim, it'll be fine. And like, it looks fine here. I did not, so on the outside bit, I did like a zigzag stitch, and it like encases that edge, and it doesn't look so bad. It looks like pretty nice and clean. I didn't do that for this piece that lines, like the, am I forgetting the word here? Like the piece that goes on top of here to encase the raw edge of the top of this pocket. I don't know why I'm forgetting what it's called. The binding. There it is. The binding. So I did like go in and trim that up because it was really rough looking. So I definitely do wish I would have just put that through the sewing machine and just done that zigzag. I don't even know if you can see it. you kind of can, had done that zigzag stitch across here, which I didn't do, and I do think that that would make this look a lot better, but I am still so happy with how this thing came out. This is only the second wallet I have ever made, the first in this, like, style, and I can say one thing is definitely for sure, this is infinitely better than the last one. And yeah, I cannot wait to get this thing to go ahead and set it for a couple days with a couple books, get it so it actually stays closed. I'll probably keep a hair tie around it just in case, just to help keep it closed, and so I always have a hair tie. But yeah, that's my wallet. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of it, as you can tell. I keep babbling. Yeah, but I really do like how it looks, and I like how it turned out, and it was not nearly that hard. Not nearly that hard. It's not nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. There we go. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please make sure to comment down below, leave a like on the video, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to see more content like this, please make sure to let me know in the comments. If you want to see more upcycling videos, more making things out of unconventional materials, because that is something that I love to do, as you can see, and I feel like you can always get some really, really unique stuff when you use unconventional material. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see me do a little bit more unconventional stuff. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!